Well, this is it. Glacier National Park, the final leg of the Continental Divide Trail. The culmination of 5.5 months of hard work brought me here, and now it's time to finish this hike. I took a 0 in Glacier yesterday, and surprisingly, there were quite a few hikers in town. Sprinkler, Dixie, Duffels, Patches, and a few others. Some had just finished, but most importantly, Katie was in town and joined Hopeful and I for the hike to the finish line. But obviously the weather's a real concern here. It's September 29th, and the long-range forecast does not look good.
And here we have Hopeful, the most appropriately dressed hiker on the trail today. Hopeful, are you warm?
I feel pretty good.
That's good.
I'm not too cold.
He's hopeful that he'll be warm with his current attire. That's how he got his trail name. I'm gonna take my shoes off here and see if those plastic bags worked. Feet are definitely getting a little cold now, but I'm curious to see.
I could just snack for today, but it's just not gonna be. I can't do that over again. I'm actually quite hungry. Glacier in damn near October.
All the bags are broken. And yeah, my socks are, they're wet, but they're probably not as wet as, well, I don't know, they're wet. Shit.
But they're wet from sweat, right, dude?
Well, there was a break in the bag. The bag was broken.
Yeah.
So any water getting in just would have gotten there anyway. So I don't think they would have sweat that much. It didn't feel like they were, but.
So yesterday we woke up at Old Man Lake up there. We had a pretty miserable morning with wet tents, frozen hands, frozen feet, frozen gear. We weren't even in the high country yet, where the worst of the conditions are. And to make things worse, there's another 18 inches of snow on the way. It's going to be really cold. Now, I just don't think it's smart to be out there in trail runners with no snow gear. You know, Katie agreed, but Hopeful was set on hiking the rest of the way to Waterton on the Highline Trail. So we parted ways again. He pressed on alone while Katie and I hiked back down to Two Medicine and back into East Glacier to regroup and replan. Katie and I spent the night, and now I'm going to be road walking the remaining 45 miles to Canada. And you may notice Katie's not with me either. So back in East Glacier, she changed her mind and wanted to go back out into the snow and try and finish at Waterton. So she hits to head to St. Mary's, where she'll meet up with a hiker named Magoo, and they're going to try and hike the rest of the Highline Trail to Waterton from there. Now, normally CDT hikers have Chief Mountain as the main alternate ending point to Waterton, but the road to Chief Mountain is now closed, and there's not going to be any traffic there to hitch back to East Glacier when I finish the hike. So basically now the plan is to walk about 35 miles today to the town of Babb, and I'll get a hotel for the night since there's no public land. It's about 10 miles south of the port of Pegan. It's the only border crossing location open for miles, so that's where my CDT hike will end tomorrow.
People ahead of us, everyone who was in Glacier bailed. Dixie and Perk and Aaron had waist deep snow on Triple Divide Pass. Poor Duffel almost got blown off a cliff in the middle of a blizzard. On the CDT, you just can't have it all, and it was definitely the right call. I don't have any regrets about bailing. It was definitely the right move. It does suck to have to road walk all the way to Canada now, 45 miles, but I'll finish tomorrow. And that's been, it's really been toying with my emotions today. finishing tomorrow. God damn, look at that. It's funny because today is the best day in the forecast for the next foreseeable future, really. And you can see it looks pretty nasty up there. Well, I just had a guy stop and ask, "Where are you walking to?" And I said, "Canada." And he just had that look, that familiar look. I'm gonna miss that. Really gonna miss that. Oh, I just can't believe this adventure is almost over. It's been almost 5.5 months of walking and seeing something new every day, and seeing, meeting all sorts of interesting people. And it's gonna be really hard to just go back to being a normal guy in a normal life, instead of, somebody in the middle of a, really once in a lifetime adventure. I'm already having a hard time with it. I'm kind of dreading, the reintegration into society phase. So here I am on the extreme east side of Glacier National Park, and really this is it. I mean, this is pretty much the last mountains. I mean, the road, I don't know if it drops down like in those plains or what, but anything east of here, there's no more mountains. It's all flatlands, plains, grassland. And a little sad to be, basically this is it for me. This is it. No more mountains. Well, this is it, Highway 89. This is the last turn I'll have to make on the CDT. I just follow this road to Canada, so I got another, roughly 35 miles or so.
Well, for years I've been looking forward to ending the CDT hike at Waterton Lake at the monument. Like the one I started the hike at the southern terminus. And as far as I know, the closest thing to a monument at the Port of Pecan is a sign that says, "Welcome to Alberta, Canada." And it's just absolutely devastating to be ending my hike this way. And just so many powerful emotions at play today, Lots of sadness, as I said goodbye to Katie and Hopeful, saw others leaving in East Glacier. Extreme sense of accomplishment, an overwhelming relief that the end is here. Uncertainty about what the future holds. Just lots of things hitting all at once. It's just hard to deal with. It's St. Mary's Lake down there, and it's a little town on the north end of that called Fab. That's where I'm gonna stay tonight. And then it's only 10 miles to the border tomorrow. Woohoo! So I was walking down the highway here, and a woman flagged me down. She said she saw me walking down the highway, and she said, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And told her I was hiking the CDT, and she gave me this Going to the Sun IPA. So I guess I'll drink this while I'm walking this highway. That's totally illegal, right? Not bad. So I'm walking through the town of St. Mary's. I was hoping a convenience store would be open, but all the businesses have signs on the doors saying closed for the season. It's like a ghost town. And kind of ominous, really, walking into a place that everybody else is leaving. Anyways, another 10 miles or so to Bab, and looks like I'll be getting there after dark.
almost done with my second to last day on the CDT. It's gonna end up being about 35, 36 miles. And the weather that was supposed to come in Tuesday looks like it's already coming in right now, Monday night. So should be a somewhat miserable day, kind of walking to the border tomorrow.
Well, today's day 165 on the CDT. This is my last day. I'm 10 miles from the Canadian border. I gotta walk 10 miles in this. Man, I can't imagine what it's like up in the mountains. I mean, look, they've got a foot of snow right here. So this is not how I expected to end the CDT, but I'm getting there. Port of Pegan, I can even see the sign, 10 miles. Wow, this is crazy.
Well, today's the day. I achieved the biggest goal of my life, something I set for myself 6 years ago. I look back on all the sacrifices I made in my personal life to even be here for this moment. You know, it wasn't easy and it wasn't always fun, but it was an adventure. You know, a true adventure that sadly most will never understand. Once you experience a true adventure, it's something that never leaves you.
Well, I'm just a few miles south of the Canadian border now, and yeah, it's really setting in. I just can't believe this trip is almost over. With this weather, it's about time. Well, that's it. The port of Pegan's just right up here. So, the end of my CDT journey. Got a herd of buffalo over there. Yeah, this is just crazy. Can't believe it's over. Can't believe it ended like this in a snowstorm. This is it. 2,895 miles, 165 days. Huh. Wow. I just don't even have the words. I don't even have the words. Leaving Montana, leaving the United States. This is the Canadian Customs up here. I just stopped in the US side. This is it. Canada! Woo! Oh, oh man. Well, this is it. After 165 days of walking, 2,895 miles, reached Alberta, Canada. And I'm going to celebrate this Great Falls Select fine beer. Fine beer. I should have bought a Canadian beer, but it's a Montana beer, so it's all right. Cheers to the CDT. It's been a fucking adventure. So when I crossed the border into Canada, I asked him, I said, hey, I want to stop at your sign and drink a celebratory beer. Is that okay with you? And she said, well, let me ask. So she asked another guy and they said, we're just going to look the other way on this one. You can go ahead and drink your beer as long as you're not driving. So I got permission from the Canadian Customs to drink this beer, this fine American beer in Canada. By far, it's been the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the most rewarding. I wanted adventure and I sure got it. What a way to end the CDT, huh? Snowstorm. By yourself. Well, it's the end of the CDT, I suppose, but it's not really the end. I still have to hitch back to East Glacier. It's gonna be fun. Well, CDT's over. I guess I should go home. Back to the US, about 200 feet that way.